for just being so touched and moved and having no idea of what so many women experience. And
It's based on a powerful and deeply meaningful book about a young woman named Lily who is forced to confront the generational cycles shaping her life and ultimately finds the strength to break them. The story centers on growth, healing, and the emotional toll of carrying burdens that were never hers to begin with. At one point it was shared that she felt completely exhausted, admitting she hadn't given herself the time or space to recover after an intense year filled with both major professional success and significant personal challenges. Meanwhile, away from the inspirational tone of the project itself, real-life tensions have reportedly reached a boiling point. Justin Baldoni is said to be extremely upset, and insiders claim the situation has spiraled far beyond a simple professional disagreement. Rumors have surfaced suggesting that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds allegedly spread whispers of a secret romantic connection between Baldoni and Lively, supposedly as leverage in their ongoing legal dispute. While it may sound like tabloid sensationalism, the speculation has been circulating widely, and Baldoni is reportedly refusing to stay silent. What might have once been considered a routine Hollywood legal clash has escalated into a full-scale controversy. Allegations of behind-the-scenes maneuvering, tense phone conversations, and shocking claims have fueled constant social media debate. Those who have followed the unfolding drama say that friction intensified when talk of secret recordings and chaotic production dynamics began making rounds. Online theories quickly painted conflicting narratives, with some critics accusing Lively of carefully shaping public perception, while supporters dismissed the claims as exaggerated gossip. The alleged affair rumor, however, took the conflict to another level. Observers are questioning whether this was a calculated public relations strategy from two high-profile figures known for managing their public image, or whether deeper frustrations are driving the escalating accusations. To understand why the rumors struck such a nerve, it helps to look back at how Baldoni and Lively's professional relationship deteriorated in the first place. What began as a promising collaboration involving a major project, substantial budgets, and high expectations gradually unraveled. Early creative discussions reportedly shifted into disputes over contracts and control, with professional disagreements evolving into personal resentment. Lively's team allegedly described Baldoni as difficult and hinted at concerns over private communications, while Baldoni's representatives countered by claiming that attempts were being made to undermine him publicly and keep him under pressure. As each side continues to defend its position, the situation remains tense, with speculation growing and no clear resolution in sight. As the conflict intensified, the disagreement moved from private negotiations into the public legal arena. What initially appeared to be a straightforward he said, she said dispute quickly became far more complicated. Once alleged phone records and cryptic text messages began circulating. Then came an even more dramatic claim, whispers suggesting that Blake Lively's marriage to Ryan Reynolds could somehow be affected if Justin Baldoni's reputation wasn't dismantled in the process. At that point, the lawsuit seemed to shift from creative or financial disagreements into something deeply personal. Fans had already been buzzing about supposed hidden recordings that might portray Lively in an unflattering light, fueling speculation that damaging material was being suppressed. But according to ongoing rumors, the situation escalated further when insinuations surfaced that any secret footage hinted at a more intimate connection between Lively and Baldoni. The narrative, critics argue, subtly redirected blame toward Baldoni, framing him as the central problem while casting Lively in a more sympathetic light. In Hollywood, scandal-driven rumors can be powerful. An alleged affair storyline does more than question professionalism. It challenges personal integrity. Such claims can damage reputations while simultaneously positioning another party as a victim of circumstance. Observers say this type of narrative can create enormous public pressure, forcing the accused to respond and potentially disclose private details just to clear their name. That dynamic alone can increase the likelihood of a legal settlement, simply to avoid prolonged scrutiny. Supporters of Lively were quick to defend her, amplifying the idea that she was being unfairly targeted and pushed into a difficult situation. As often happens when high-profile figures are involved, public opinion became sharply divided. Some argue the rumors serve as a distraction from the original dispute, while others believe they expose deeper issues behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Baldoni faces mounting pressure to address allegations that extend beyond professional disagreements and into his personal character. Ultimately, this situation appears to be about more than celebrity gossip. Public perception, fan loyalty, and media strategy all play significant roles in shaping how the dispute unfolds. What began as a professional collaboration has evolved into a complex battle of narratives, where legal strategy and reputation management intersect, adding another layer to the controversy. Raw, unedited footage from a dance sequence was reportedly released by Baldoni's team. The clip, described as behind-the-scenes B-roll used during production, showed discussions and disagreements over how the scene should be filmed and presented, rather than clarifying matters. The footage sparked further debate about creative differences, on-set dynamics, and who was truly at fault. Some fans have pointed out that several camera angles in the recently discussed footage look strikingly familiar, noting that Blake Lively previously performed a very similar scene years ago, alongside Ryan Reynolds when he starred in Green Lantern. That was the project where the two first connected before eventually marrying, which has only added another layer of intrigue for online commentators drawing comparisons. As speculation grows, critics argue that major Hollywood figures often understand exactly how to shape a narrative in their favor. Reynolds, known publicly for his humor and quick wit, has maintained his trademark light-hearted tone, using jokes and social media charm to keep the atmosphere from turning to heavy. However, some observers claim that behind the scenes a more calculated strategy could be unfolding, one that frames Justin Baldoni as dishonest or manipulative while positioning Lively as unfairly targeted. Whether that perception is accurate or simply fueled by online conjecture depends largely on which side of the debate one believes. From Baldoni's perspective, the rumors have reportedly been deeply frustrating. Imagine waking up to headlines implying involvement in a scandal that questions your integrity and personal life. Sources sympathetic to Baldoni suggest he views the affair narrative as a direct attack on his character. While no public evidence has confirmed such claims, the damage from speculation alone can be significant in an industry where reputation is everything. Insiders suggest Baldoni may be preparing to respond more forcefully, potentially presenting his own evidence or speaking out publicly to counter what he sees as a misleading storyline. If that happens, it could dramatically shift public perception yet again. In Hollywood, once personal morality becomes part of the conversation, situations can escalate quickly and unpredictably. Those familiar with Baldoni's usual demeanor describe him as measured and conflict-averse, which makes the intensity of his reported reactions stand out even more. According to some accounts, the alleged affair rumor was the tipping point. Supporters claim the narrative is being amplified in a way that makes it seem factual rather than speculative, increasing pressure on him to defend himself. Meanwhile, social media has turned the situation into a full-blown spectacle. Hashtags referencing Baldoni and Lively trend as users debate the credibility of the allegations. Some dismiss the rumor outright as exaggerated gossip, while others amplify it, arguing that in Hollywood, surprising twists are nothing new. Lively's loyal fanbase strongly rejects the accusations, insisting she would never jeopardize her marriage and suggesting Baldoni is being misrepresented. More neutral observers note that public relations strategy often plays a powerful role in celebrity disputes, and controlling the headline can be just as important as winning the legal argument. At its core, what began as a professional disagreement has evolved into a battle over image, loyalty, and narrative control. Instead of focusing solely on contractual issues or production disagreements, public attention has been pulled into a swirl of scandal and speculation, a shift that may benefit one side or the other, depending on how the story ultimately unfolds. Public statements from Blake Lively's representatives have firmly rejected the affair allegations, calling them baseless, though critics argue that brief denials sometimes do little to slow online speculation. At the same time, Justin Baldoni's team has reportedly tried to keep attention on the central legal dispute rather than the surrounding gossip. Still, when rumors begin targeting someone's personal character, ignoring them entirely becomes nearly impossible. Each new claim, whether it's an alleged text message, an anonymous source, or a social media post, fuels another wave of online debate. What began as a professional disagreement has evolved into a highly public spectacle, with fans and commentators dissecting every detail. For those following the situation closely, the escalation has been striking. Baldoni now appears to be defending not only his professional conduct, but also his integrity, while Lively and Ryan Reynolds continue to rely on their public platforms and media presence to shape how events are perceived. In Hollywood, image management is often as critical as legal strategy. Public perception can shift rapidly, and even established figures are vulnerable when narratives spiral beyond the original issue. The controversy has also extended into the media itself. Reports referencing statements to outlets like TMZ have added further confusion, with conflicting accounts about how often Lively and Baldoni interacted. The dispute has reportedly drawn in high-profile legal representation, including attorney Brian Friedman, and even led to legal action involving the New York Times over claims of misreporting and alleged defamation. Central to that disagreement are accusations that certain text messages were presented without full context, potentially altering their meaning. All of this unfolds against the backdrop of It Ends With Us, a film dealing with sensitive themes of domestic violence. The seriousness of that subject matter only heightens scrutiny around the behind-the-scenes conflict. Some observers argue that the affair rumor conveniently shifts focus away from contractual and production-related disputes, redirecting public attention toward personal scandal instead. Supporters of Lively insist she is protecting herself from damaging misinformation, while Baldoni's defenders maintain that the rumors unfairly attack his character. As speculation intensifies, the broader issue becomes less about any single allegation and more about narrative control. In an industry where reputation is currency, even unproven claims can carry lasting consequences. Ultimately, what we're witnessing is a complex clash between legal strategy, media framing, and celebrity influence, whether the affair rumor is dismissed as unfounded gossip or proves to have deeper implications. The situation underscores how quickly professional disputes can transform into headline-driven controversies and how fragile even the most carefully managed public image can be when placed under relentless scrutiny for years. Ryan Reynolds has cultivated the image of the charming, supportive partner, quick with humor, polished in interviews, and seemingly unbothered by controversy. But critics of the couple speculate that public charm and private strategy can be two very different things. The synergy between Reynolds and Blake Lively has long been central to their appeal. They present as effortless, witty, and united. However, if rumors were ever proven to have been strategically amplified behind the scenes, that polished image would face serious scrutiny. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni, once viewed as the less prominent figure in this dispute, has found himself thrust into the center of attention. No longer operating quietly in the background, he is now positioned opposite one of Hollywood's most recognizable couples. To some observers, that makes him bold for standing his ground. To others, it's a risky move in an industry where influence and star power carry enormous weight. If the affair rumor continues to gain traction, one possible outcome is mounting pressure on Baldoni to settle simply to bring the public storm to an end. Prolonged speculation can exhaust even the most resilient public figure. On the other hand, he could take the opposite approach, firmly rejecting the narrative and presenting any evidence he believes disproves it. Should credible proof ever emerge showing deliberate rumors spreading, the backlash against Lively and Reynolds could be significant. Hollywood audiences may be drawn to scandal, but they're equally drawn to perceived fairness and accountability. Conversely, if additional ambiguous material surfaces, a stray photo, an out-of-context message, a vague insider claim, it could keep speculation alive without ever conclusively proving anything. That's the nature of celebrity rumor cycles. Once ignited, they're difficult to fully extinguish. For Lively, whose public persona has long emphasized poise and professionalism, lingering uncertainty could be damaging even without substantiated evidence. At the same time, it's important to note that allegations alone do not equal proof. The responsibility to substantiate claims lies with those making them. What makes this saga particularly compelling to observers is the broader narrative arc. It blends legal tension, media influence, and the dynamics of celebrity power. Baldoni appears determined to defend his name, while Lively and Reynolds continue navigating intense public attention. Whether this resolves through a formal legal outcome, a negotiated settlement, or a gradual fading of headlines, the episode underscores how fragile reputation can be. When personal and professional disputes collide under a global spotlight, in the end, beyond the rumors and counter-rumors, the situation reflects a larger truth about modern Hollywood. Image, influence, and narrative control often shape public opinion as much as facts do, until concrete evidence clarifies the story. Much of what circulates remains speculation, and speculation, especially at this level of fame, can take on a life of its own.